Ooh, I love this topic. So, intermittent fasting, really love it. But let's talk about how to safely do it if you're on a GLP-1. I'm Tiffany. I'm a physician assistant, but also a GLP-1 and wellness advocate. So I help people get access to GLP-1s when they cannot get them through traditional insurance. So if you're struggling with that, there's some links over here in my bio that'll help you out. So GLP-1s mimic a natural gut hormone. They slow down digestion, they reduce your appetite, and they improve your sensitivity to the insulin that you already make. But intermittent fasting works in a different pathway to help with insulin sensitivity. So when you actually go without food for anywhere from 12 to 16 hours, your body does something crazy. Your insulin levels drop really low and your body starts digging into your stored fat to get energy. This stored fat is hard to access and really hard to burn. So combining GLP-1s with intermittent fasting can really help you burn visceral fat. Now, visceral fat is the fat that's around all your vital organs, which we know is no good. It leads to all the bad stuff, heart attacks, and bad health problems. So intermittent fasting does this really amazing thing in your body called autophagy. So it's this really cool thing that your body does anyway, but it speeds up the process. It's where your cells go around and actually clean up all the garbage that's there. Along with all the garbage, the waste products is inflammation, and all of that gets cleaned up with autophagy. So in studies, people who intermittent fasted showed that they had a reduction of inflammation up to 36% from people who did not eat in an intermittent fasting pattern. Okay, how are we going to do this safely? The very first thing we want to look at is our timing. So we want to start with a shorter fasting window for people who are on GLP-1s and then lengthen that out as we can. So I would recommend, if you're on a GLP-1, to start with a 12-hour fasting window overnight and see how you feel. If that window feels good, then maybe try to lengthen it out a little bit. In an ideal situation, people who are intermittent fasting usually like to fast for 16 hours and then their eating window is about 8 hours, but don't start there. Okay, number 2, you have to stay hydrated. So during the period of time in which you're fasting, hydration is non-negotiable because if you have low fluid intake, you're going to feel more nauseated. So we have to sip and we have to continue to sip on whether or not it's water, electrolyte drinks, etc. This is a have to situation. That very first meal of the day that you have when you break your fast, you need to make sure that you are eating a meal that is heavy in protein and fiber. We don't want to start the first meal of the day off with a lot of carbs or sugar. This is going to help you stabilize your blood sugar for the day and start the day off right. And there's a couple of reasons why you probably should avoid intermittent fasting. So if you already have a history of disordered eating, if you have uncontrolled diabetes, if you're on other drugs for diabetes, or if you have a tendency towards low blood sugar, all these things you probably need to check with your provider first before you give this a try. So bottom line is intermittent fasting can be great, but it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. You have to listen to your body and make sure that you are listening to your hunger signals. And if your body tells you you need to eat, then you need to eat. So let me know, have you tried intermittent fasting? Has it worked for you? And what's your fasting window?